Years ago, I wanted to figure out if I could make a sculpture about what makes you different from me. And I said, Don Giovanni, the big seducer, at some point he says, odore di femmina. It's this concept of odore. And so I said, how can I make a sculpture that represents that idea of smell, of aura? And I started to make these torsos that are covered with flowers made from clay. If you go close in there, the clay itself comes from the earth. And the sculpture, because they're made of flowers, they look very fragile, you know, like very seductive and beautiful. But once you go into them and you touch them, they're way stronger and sharper than you think. The flowers can cut like razor blades. But there's always the idea with clay that you can break it or that something chips. It is a bit like with human relationships. We all have scars. We all have been handled in such a way that we've suffered. Now the idea is that the suffering, it all, like with the flowers, even if there's a little breakage, it disappears. It's there. Your scars are deep in you. You don't see them, but they're there. I love giving titles because titles are like keys. War game, immediately you've got a lot of associations in your head. And so these pieces, again, when you look at them from a distance, they're like abstract painting. And when you focus in the sculpture with your eyes, you focus in, you see that something's happening in there. So pieces in the show that are so small that if you want to see them, you've got to focus. There's this strange work. It's a work that I made in the 80s, and it's Présentoir d'orange. It's presenting the orange. And the question that I asked myself was, why do they give an orange to a sick person or to a prisoner? And you've got this orange sitting there, and it draws in your eye because of the strength of the form and the color. But that question, you give it to a sick person because it's energy. But why do you give it to a prisoner? You give it because in the gray world, it's this symbol of light, it's this symbol of the sun, it's this symbol of beauty. Now, as a collector or a museum, you can decide to let the orange dry. And when it dries, it becomes a nature morte, a still life, and it becomes a symbol of Memento Mori, we're all gonna die. Or you can decide each day to change the orange, and then it stays the symbol of the sun, the hope, and beauty.